And I remember Bob and Susan and Gordon were the main ones that I remember, and of course all the the Muppets. But for us, it was a huge part of my childhood. I remember him. Like, it makes me sad to hear this because I distinctly remember him. In fact, Sesame Street was so important when my dad was school superintendent in Surrey, in Mount Airy City Schools. He made it a part of our curriculum, so we would stop and watch it in first and second grade. That was part of our the curriculum.
I could see how he did that. Sesame Street just played such a large staple in so many of our lives for decades. I know my mom, she grew up watching Sesame Street. And you just learn about how to share. You learn about social skills, diversity, academics. It's just been a beautiful show, and it's exciting to see the new characters that have come on board and as it continues to grow. So this is definitely a sad story hitting a lot of people.
Yeah, I remember staying up one time to watch Kermit the Frog on The Tonight Show. That was a big deal. When he was,
And Miss Piggy too.
Yes.
Kermit started out on Sesame Street, and then later became
a
the
Muppets.
Yes, that was.
I remember seeing the Muppets live when I was in preschool.
So much fun.
And it's incredible that this show has stood the test of time. I mean, think about anything else that has, and really nothing.
Something we will be able to connect with my grandkids or my mom, and it really has just expanded decades, and not too many television shows can say that they've done that.
No, it's great. We will miss him. All right, we'll take a break.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination. All right, so this right here, this is not where you want to see your car, right? This means more money out of your pocket, more time out of your day, more frustration. Every single year, Consumer Reports surveys hundreds of thousands of its members, asking them a simple but a very important question like, what problems have you had with your vehicle in the past year? We're talking about everything from engines to transmissions, brakes, electrical systems, noises, leaks, paint, even the trim. Well, from that 300,000 vehicle submission from the members, Consumer Reports then compiles it into reliability ratings.
Pickup trucks have been at the lower end of our rating for 6 of the last 7 years. In this year's survey, we only have 7 trucks of more than a dozen surveyed that are getting better than average to average in terms of reliability.
Pickup trucks account for 1 out of every 5 new vehicles sold, but they do fall behind in reliability. But cars, specifically sedans, are the most reliable overall.
Sedan body styles have been on the road for a long time. That's given the manufacturers a chance to work on some of those problem areas and bugs. Vehicles like trucks, minivans, and SUVs have complicated systems, and therefore they can be more problematic.
This year, Toyota, Lexus, and BMW were the top brands, with BMW moving up 10 spots from last year.
All right, we got the drum roll for the most reliable car according to Consumer Reports. Any guesses on the make and the model? Yes?
I'm going to go with Toyota Corolla.
Okay.
I'll say Honda Civic.
Okay.
I will also say a foreign car.
A foreign car of some sort.
Okay.
It's going to surprise you, maybe. Here it is. Okay. It is the most reliable car. It's the Toyota Corolla Hybrid.
Oh, the hybrid.
Ooh, the hybrid.
Hybrid.
Interesting.
Yeah, they said that more and more hybrids are actually even more reliable than some of just the regular standard cars.
The reason I chose the Toyota Corolla is because that was my first vehicle.
Yes.
And we went through a lot. I got in a few accidents that were not my fault. And she stayed sturdy for several years. I just got rid of her a couple years ago.
What was her name?
I was gonna say.
I didn't name
Oh,
her.
you did because she
Oh,
said
really?
her. I thought,
But
yeah.
she was blue, a navy blue Toyota Corolla, and
was
we've
mine.
been through a lot.
A
I'll
lot.
just say that.
Now, are you guys stick with one of a kind make or model of a car, or are you a switch up?
I'm
No,
a
I'm
switch up. I have a
up.
Honda now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever had, like, I've had several cars over time, and none of them ever were the same as the previous.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I've had the same. Man, I've had 3 Volkswagens in my life, but it's not a thing with me. It just happened to work.
You just
out.
happen to like the vehicle.
Yeah.
See, and once I went Honda, that's it. I'm never going to buy anything else besides my Honda.
That's my dad was like that with Toyota. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right? I mean, but my first Honda lasted, I mean, it was like 250,000 miles, and it's actually still going. So, like,
Wow.
you know, I'm like, yeah, we're going to buy that car
Ride
again.
that till the wheels fall off.
Yes,
That's what you do.
absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Later this week, we have a Consumer Reports expert talking about the reliability report, but also joining us to talk about whatever kind of car question you
great.
have. And, you know, because you can never ask, right, your shop or your mechanic or
Right.
whatever, why they do certain things. So join us on Thursday night at 5:30 and ask your questions that you can't ask anybody else. We'll see you.
All right, anybody who knows me knows that I love the useless and/or strange trivia. Usually they're the same thing. So today, you're going to hear about everything from flamingos to popsicles. And like I always say, these facts get you nowhere in life, but you'll be a ton of fun at parties. All right, we start out our useless trivia with flamingos. Yes, you've seen the pictures of them with their skinny little legs, look like they're bent at the knee. That's not a knee. That's actually their ankle. Believe it or not, from that little point down is their foot. Their knees are actually up closer to their body, hidden under the feathers. So essentially, they're always walking on their tiptoes. They must have good calf muscles. Who doesn't love popsicles? Well, they used to be called ice pops back in the day. They were actually invented on accident by an 11-year-old named Frank Epperson. The kid left out some drink in a cup with a little wooden stir stick in it that he was mixing it with, left it out in the winter overnight by mistake, came back next day, and he called it the Epsicle, which is Epperson for his last name originally. He actually went on to start selling it in the neighborhood, selling it regionally. He got a patent for it, changed the name to popsicles, and the rest is history. I love Fruit Loops. It was one of my favorite cereals as a kid. And all the colors too, the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, whatever. Guess what? All of those have the exact same flavor. They're all just Fruit Loop flavored. So don't fool yourself into like picking out the purple ones. You're doing nothing. Who doesn't love a good apple? Well, guess what? Your supermarket apples, not all of them, some of them, can be as much as a year old. They're picked between August and November, okay? Get them off of that. Then they're covered in wax, hot air dried, and put into cold storage for sometimes as long as 6 to 12 months before they even make it to the supermarket shelf. Sounds kind of gross, but I still love the apples. That is your useless trivia. Take that to the water cooler. You'll be the coolest person at work. Or not. All right, so the apple thing kind of threw me because when I first read this, and by the way, all of this was readersdigest.com. They had this list of things. But one of them was, it says with apples, they're harvested between August and November, so I guess like right now, and then, well, a little late, and then they cover them in like a wax coating, and then they hot air dry them, and then they put them right in cold storage. And it's supposed to do like a seal, so like a sort of a real thin wax coating. You know how apples are kind of, you can feel that waxy coating sometimes. They do that, but it may take anywhere from 6 months to 12 months to get to the supermarkets.
So
some
no
of us are
idea.
eating a year-old apples, but they taste great. I mean,
I wonder if there's any other fruits that do something similar.
well, and I'm not sure. Also, let me say this: I don't know if that's every supermarket chain.
Sure.
It's just know that that's how the industry handles it as a whole. So.
Interesting.
I know.
I would believe that because I recently found apples that I forgot were in my fridge.
And
I was like, oh no, these are going to be so moldy. I did it over the weekend, and I took them out, and I was like, oh, these are still good.
They're perfect.
It's been, I've had them for many weeks.
So that means, like canned foods, we can have apples.
Yeah, for a long time. Yes, right. We'll see.
Monique, do you have a favorite type of apple?
I like the Granny Smith and the Honey Crisp. Actually, I go on apple tirade sometime. I love apples, I really do. Temperatures right now across the area have been in the 50s. The high temperature for today was already reached. We're now on the decline. 52 is in Greensboro. That was a high temperature, 50 now, so we've dropped 2 degrees. And as I said, that sun is setting or on the brinks of it. And now those temperatures are going down, down, down. 51 in Burlington currently. Now tonight, this is as low as we're going to go. This is actually 10 degrees warmer than today. The thing is, when there's clouds around during the day, we stay cool. But when there's clouds around at night, we stay warm. That's what we're seeing for tonight. Temperatures staying in the 40s. Those clouds are going to be building in across the area, limit how cold we get. So we stay a little bit warmer for tonight. Tomorrow, 50s is in the forecast. Again, 50s for you all across the board, whether you're in the foothills or the central Piedmont. Low to mid 50s with scattered showers throughout the day. Now, this temperature trend is warming up day by day. By Wednesday, Thursday, we're in the 60s, mid to upper 60s. What we felt today is, in fact, where we should be this time of year. You may say, hey, it's been very chilly. Well, actually, in the heart of winter season, which we're in now, we're starting to approach that winter season full on. This is as cold as it's supposed to be. Not the 60s, even though we're getting a tease of those this week. Our full 7-day, here you have it. After Thursday, the temperatures fall. And as we start the week next week, we are back in the low 50s with overnight lows in the 30s.
Well, we could say, oops, she did it again. You know what we're talking about. Britney Spears is back in the headlines, and this time it's for a little bit of good news here. A new musical featuring the songs of Britney Spears is headed to Broadway next year. The show is titled Once Upon a One More Time, is a fractured fairy tale telling the original story about Cinderella, Little Mermaid, Snow White, and other familiar characters who are all members of the same book club.
Oh.
Several of Spears' chart-topping hits will be sprinkled throughout the musical, including Circus, Lucky, Toxic, and of course, Oops, I Did It Again. So this got me thinking, which famous person would you like to see a Broadway show themed on? So Teresa Galloway said Keanu Reeves because he grew up poor and gives millions away anonymously. He lives humble. Ashley said Marilyn Monroe. They did just make a documentary for her on Netflix, but she said because she had a lot of mental health struggles, yet was famous and able to mostly keep her composure. She didn't care what others thought, so she admired her for that. Gia says Oprah because she's gone through so much in her life. She started with so little and developed so many things and shared her wealth with so many. The schools she has started have literally changed the lives and futures of a lot of those girls. Sarah says Olivia Newton-John or Karen Carpenter just because they were both the greatest musical influences of my generation. They both played a big part on her desire to be a singer there. And Montine says Prince. I agree with this one. He was so mysterious, talented, and awesome entertainer. I saw him 3 times in Greensboro. He said there. I saw him once in Greensboro.
Cool.
I would go with Prince. Just thinking about those individuals because there was like a shroud of mystery around that guy. He played his cards close to his chest, but he was so talented and genius, you know.
Kind of like him and Michael Jackson. Sorry to interrupt,
Yes.
but yeah, very kind of same, similar uncertainty or just like
mystery.
Mystery.
I would love to see a Britney Spears musical because that's my childhood and my early teens. But for me, I would probably choose Aretha Franklin because she has such a rich history and she's had so many classics. And just from all the biopics that came out, and I got to cover her funeral back when she passed. I got to go to Detroit and cover that, and it was just I learned so much about her that I didn't know as a child. So I think it would be great to bring that to Broadway.
You saw legend after legend at that funeral.
I did. It was a chance of a lifetime.
If you've never seen the documentary Muscle Shoals, it's about a studio in Muscle Shoals, Alabama that was famous for all types of genres, and she played a huge role in that. You got to watch that. The history of and unusual groups too, Leonard Skinner and Aretha Franklin and all these people that came up through the Percy Sledge, all were a part of that recording studio. It's really good.
I would probably pick someone who like started out as like a child star, like a Britney Spears, but like a Justin Bieber or the Olsen twins. I mean, just like to see
the Olsen twins would
life
be a
that
good
they've
one.
had
I
from
love
early on,
them.
and just so much that they've gone through.
I had Olsen Twins video games when I was younger. I did. I had a couple of them.
On that note, we'll be right back. What's a video game? Welcome back to the 4 to 5, everybody. Chad, Eric, Lauren, Monique, all checking in for duty, sir. We're here. Saluting.
Saluting. And we're also on News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and you can also watch us on the News 2 app.
Coming up this half hour, we're going to be celebrating a birthday today. A very old birthday. Like really, really old.
He's not lying. It's old.
And it's cute, though, too. It's a cute story, so stick around for that.
First, we got to talk about the weather and what's happening. Rain on the way.
The weather, you might need that umbrella this week at times. We're going to be exercising that, all of us, maybe even some other rain gear. The temperature currently in Winston-Salem is 51 degrees. Looking at this sky cam, you can see the clouds are fully out today. They've been sticking with us all day. These winds out of the south and east taking a transition as we go through the day tomorrow, bringing more clouds around. And then as we continue through the day, there's a greater chance of rain throughout the day. Most of these icons you can see on here, we're seeing them throughout the day. Those temperatures staying in the 50s. So here's a look at that futurecast showing you when the rain arrives. That timestamp is cut off on your screen, but it's roughly around 4:30 p.m. right now. That's where you're seeing some clouds around and then the rain well off to the west of us. Now, as we continue through the night, the clouds will still be with us. Most of the rain hugs the South Carolina area, kind of near our southern border, near the southern Piedmont area. Now, as we continue overnight, while we're sleeping, that rain moves in, but it's very spotty and light. So we're not talking a lot of rain tomorrow, but you may get wet throughout the day. Continuing through your Tuesday, that's through the afternoon. You get more rain that can move through the area. Now, as we go through Wednesday, just about the same. It's this ongoing pattern. We get isolated, spotty, light showers. Maybe here or there you may get a stronger downpour, but for the most part, we're talking spotty light showers through your day Tuesday, continuing through Wednesday, and then more of that as we end the week. There's some more rain chances on there. The clouds are with us all week long. Now, the weekend gives us the earliest sign of a potential break from the rain.
Developing in Moore County, the FBI is now assisting in an investigation in North Carolina after 2 power substations were shot up in an act of sabotage. With morning temperatures in the 30s, tens of thousands of people had to find warmth in shelters as their homes remain without power.
Multiple pieces of major equipment were damaged. Repairs could go on for days. The Moore County Sheriff said authorities have yet to determine a motive, but the attack was targeted. This was intentional. More than 33,000 people spent Sunday night in the dark and cold. Temperatures dropped as low as 34 degrees overnight. Duke Energy officials warned that restoring power could take days, making life challenging until Thursday. A state of emergency has been declared for Moore County. County schools were closed today. The FBI have now joined state and local officials trying to figure out who did this and why.
Many places like the Pinehurst Fire Department are opening their doors to the community who may need a warm place to sit or even an outlet to charge their phones. The mayor of Pinehurst says they're working to restore power.
Well, we're trying to come together in quick time here. This has all just occurred since Saturday, and we really didn't understand until yesterday how long it would take. It's very unfortunate it's happened at this time of year with the holidays, of course, being with us. But on the other hand, the citizens and the merchants are reaching out to each other, and I'm sure we'll have a good holiday season.
Now, since the power has been out, that of course means many traffic lights are out as well. In order to prevent accidents on the roadway, Moore County is under a curfew at this time between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup right now. Folks in Ramseur dealt with water issues this weekend. The water appeared brown, staining sinks and toilets. The city commissioner says it's from outdated water systems. Pro Tem Mayor says that he plans to work with the board about the cost of the water bills for everybody.
The Guilford County Sheriff's Office says deputies found the bodies of 2 people in Whitsett over the weekend. Investigators say they'd both been shot, but they don't believe there's a threat to the public. We'll have much more today at 5. Greensboro police have identified a man shot and killed over the weekend. Officers found Xavier Wells on Don Laura Drive Saturday night. First responders took Wells to a hospital where he later died. Police have yet to make an arrest.
And it looks like gas prices appear to be falling just in time for Christmas travel. Not a bad thing there. For the first time in a long time, you can find unleaded gas in Greensboro for under $3. Gas prices have fallen by nearly 12 cents just in the last week. The current average for unleaded gas in Greensboro is $3.09. That's nearly 22 cents a gallon lower than a month ago. Meanwhile, the national average sits at $3.36. That's down 15 cents from last week and 43 cents from a month ago. The Department of Homeland Security and Transportation Security Administration say that the real ID deadline has been pushed back again, this time until 2025. The original enforcement deadline was 2016, but it's been delayed several times. This latest delay is due to, quote, circumstances resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. Starting May 25th in 2025, everyone 18 and older flying within the U.S. will need a real ID compliant driver's license, a state-issued enhanced license, or other accepted form of ID that is to fly within the U.S. We'll be right back.
Right now, there are nearly 400 teacher vacancies across the Triad's three biggest school districts. Both Guilford and Winston-Salem-Forsyth have hiring events this week. GCS has one on Wednesday from 4 to 6 at Guilford Elementary. The district says candidates will have the opportunity to be interviewed and hired on the spot. They say there are opening teaching positions for elementary math, science, social studies, and English, among others. It could include a $10,000 sign-on bonus. Winston-Salem-Forsyth has two events coming up. One on Wednesday at the district building. It's from 9 to noon for bus drivers and custodians. The other is next Wednesday. It is virtual and for all positions. Register now for any of these if you're interested.
All right, with only 2 weeks left in the school year, one school supply company is helping with Christmas. PaperMate is partnering with the Kids in Need Foundation's Supply a Teacher program to help fulfill teacher wish lists. This is in the Greensboro area. So did you know while school supply donations help students get the year started, 91% of teachers, 91%, do not have the supplies they need to start the second semester of school in January. It's amazing, and that's why PaperMate is donating school supplies and $100,000 to under-resourced teachers' wish list all across the country to help fuel a full semester of active learning. According to the Kids in Need Foundation, North Carolina is one of the top 5 states needing the most support. So here's how you can help. PaperMate wants you to help spread the love and appreciation for teachers nationwide via a simple gesture, a thank you note. Share your thank you note or video on social media using the hashtags thanks to teachers and tagging @PaperMate for a chance to be featured on the brand's Instagram account. For those looking to join PaperMate in helping to supply a teacher in their community, they can make a donation on the Kids in Need Foundation website.
What a great story. Well, the world's oldest land animal is celebrating a birthday today. Jonathan the tortoise is, get this, 190 years old. Yeah, he lives in St. Helena, a British territory in the Atlantic Ocean. Over the weekend, the island held an official birthday bash at the governor's residence. Jonathan got to enjoy cake and some of his favorite garden vegetables. To put in perspective how old he is, Jonathan has lived through both world wars, 7 British monarchs, 39 U.S. presidents, and get this, y'all, he is older than the Eiffel Tower.
Oh my gosh.
190 years
1812, is that right? Did I do the math right?
If he could speak English, I would ask him, what is the secret to life?
He said being a tortoise. That is the secret, because they do live a crazy long time.
How?
And some of them
How
can
is
live
this
up to
possible?
500 years old, I was reading.
So if we all walked like this and ate lettuce our whole lives, would we go like 100?
His favorite garden vegetables too. He really likes. Have scientists studied this guy to find out?
So
this guy.
The more I was reading about this, he actually could be older than 190 years old. So when he was given to a gift to someone, they're estimating he was around 50 years old when that happened. But there's actually no record of when he was actually born, so he could be 200 for all we know.
I had a parrot once, and they told me they live like 85 or 90 years, and I was like, I'll be gone. Like, I'd have to donate.
He'll be at your funeral going,
And what happened to him?
Bye. We gave away when the twins were born because I didn't want that squawking to wake up 2 newborns.
Oh, yeah. You should find out where that
Karnak
190
Yes,
years old.
insane.
that is amazing. Well, happy birthday, Jonathan.
Happy
Yes.
freaking birthday.
Happy birthday to
Take a break.
you. Happy birthday. The holiday shopping season is upon us, and that means you need to be aware of the shipping deadlines. Pull out your phone and take a picture of these dates if you want your gifts to arrive before Christmas. If you're using the United Postal Service, packages need to be shipped by the 17th with retail ground or first class mail. December 19th for priority mail and December 23rd for priority mail express. Now, the deadlines for UPS are a little different. The company advises you check its website for ground shipping. December 20th is the deadline for 3-day shipping, the 21st for 2-day shipping, and December 22nd for next day shipping. And last but not least, here are the FedEx deadlines. The first deadline is on Thursday for ground economy. After that, if you're using FedEx, you'll want to ship things off on or before December 23rd. So this got us thinking, have you made a dent in your holiday shopping? Maybe you already finished. I asked you on my Facebook page. Trina Pratt says, just started today. TL Poole wrote, almost done. I love last minute hustle and bustle. Rachel Johnson, thinking of making a list. I'm with you. I'm with you. Kirk Campbell, been done for a week, started in October. Brenda Domingo says, starting it next week online. So some people, it looks like they're already done. Many of you are like me and have not really started yet.
I've started, and this is the first time in a long time that I got 4 presents already from my wife.
Ooh.
I'm almost done with her. And then, so she handles, for the most part, our 2 little ones.
Okay.
And then the 2 older twins I handle. And they're getting to the age where it's so easy. So I think
money.
Yeah, that's right. They're in college, right? So money, gift cards, and maybe a couple small things, clothes.
I'm 75% done, maybe even a little bit higher, maybe 80, 85.
Are you one of those people that shops throughout the year? Like you started back in February?
So I don't shop throughout the year, but I keep a running list of things that I want to get for loved ones.
Okay.
So like when I hang out, like let's say you're on my list and you're like, man, I could really go for like a new purse or something.
I would love
Lauren purse.
I'm looking for a Dooney and Burke
But I
bag,
have a
Kate
list on
Spade.
my
You hear
phone,
that, Chad?
and I'll keep a running list when I talk to people of what they've
Okay,
said.
Burberry.
So, Burberry.
I do keep the running list, but then the times come for the actual time when I have to buy them. And I'm like,
You're like, do I really want to
Can
spend
I
money on
still
a Burberry
do
purse?
that? Like I have screenshots from like months ago. I did the same thing when people would say stuff. I would log it down, but now I'm like, those price tags.
Yeah, right.
Yes, and it's getting closer to the date. So I have mentally made some notes. I've started having conversations with family members and loved ones saying, what would you like? So now that the conversations are in play, I can start actually writing them down, and then hopefully I can start making purchases
Good.
You don't got much
earlier
time.
than a day before.
No. Based on those numbers we saw, you better do online shopping in the next week.
Right.
Yep. Anyway,
I'm going to get it done.
All right, what about a forecast, Wendy?
Well, the weather for this week is rainy and actually a little bit warmer than what we usually have for this time of year. Today is not one of those days. Today's, though, is right on target in the 50s. We're seeing that all across the Triad. Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, all in the low 50s right now. Our satellite radar is showing cloud cover and then some rain down to the south and west of us. Now, when I widen this view, you see even more heavy rainfall. That's all across portions of Georgia, Tennessee, and South Carolina. Those are some heavy downpours. In the Triad, we're expecting rain to arrive late this evening, maybe more so to the overnight hours going into your Tuesday. That's when we get the best chance of some more downpours, but it's very spotty and light rain. That's for the most part going to be the case throughout the day on Tuesday. Isolated spotty showers throughout the entirety of your Tuesday. Not a lot of rainfall totals expected across the entire area, but here's one last look at your 7-day.
A night, a scene they have never experienced in the many years of them living here. 1098-7654, 321 1098-7654. We're here in Whitsett.
But first this evening, a welfare check revealed a tragedy in a Guilford County home this weekend.
Hello, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
Stories. Check, check. 1 2 3. 1 2 3. 1 2 3 4.
Check, check, check. I forgot I turned it off. Check.
I've had the hardest time getting in the holiday spirit. My dad died this year and my grandfather. My fiance had a parent pass too. It has been rough. I hadn't put up a single light. I hadn't had a drop of eggnog. I even thought about skipping the tree this time around. But then this weekend, I saw the light, literally at the Greensboro Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Being downtown, that cheer was just infectious. Jingle bells, jingle bells. From the carols making the crowds dance and sing along, to sumo wrestling Santas, even fake snow falling from the sky. The whole thing felt like a Hallmark movie where someone goes home for the holidays. Home because every 10 to 15 minutes, you'd run into someone else you knew. There was such a strong sense of community. And that's what the holidays are all about, bringing the community together to help each other through the rough times. To the hundreds of volunteers and thousands of people who attended Friday, thank you for helping to make the holidays special. This event is another example of why I'm so proud to call the Triad home. That's my 2 cents. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
Attack that damaged an entire community.
As tens of thousands of people are still without power, an investigation into the attack on Moore County's power grid continues. What we know.
Triad residents once again turning on the tap to brown water. What's happening?